After 2 hard-fought days of racing here in the streets of Toronto, it has come to Sunday. Of course, the NTT IndyCar Series main event will happen today as well. But before that, both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000 will be on track to cap off their doubleheader. Hello, race fans. My name is Rob Howard. Excited to be back here for one more day of action. The guy beside me right now had a fantastic Saturday here for Synergy Motorsports, Eddie Beswick. You have got to be thrilled with the way things played out yesterday. You worked your way up into the top 5. You come home with a second-place finish. How good does that feel, knowing how hard this team has worked?
Yeah, obviously we've been working so hard, and what a day it was yesterday. We started off the morning with a qualifying session that wasn't quite ideal, and we weren't really starting where we wanted to, and it's pretty much been the story of this whole year, so nothing unusual. But then we really believed that we had the pace, and was able to carve through the field, put myself in a position to maximise on the mistakes I made at the front, and come away with a pretty cool second place.
Is that kind of the idea for today as well? Are you thinking about what you did yesterday? Hey, listen, I got a second place. I'm going to try to see if I can get back to the box maybe?
Obviously everyone will look over what happened yesterday, and I placed my car pretty good on the first lap, so it wouldn't surprise me if a few people around do the exact same thing. But just maximising opportunities, and obviously I'm going to try and replicate it, hopefully one better.
Once we get into today, Sunday morning, obviously more IndyCar rubber went down. They had practice and qualifying yesterday. Do you anticipate more rubber than you had even yesterday?
Oh yeah, if you're coming into these weekends without anticipating rubber, you may as well not turn up. These street circuits evolve without the IndyCars coming here, and the rubber's really going to shake things up, so we'll dial into the experience we've tried to gather through this year, and we'll try and tune that car to be quick tomorrow, and I'm confident that we can do the job.
You made your debut here last year running with Exclusive Autosport here at Toronto. A tough place to make a debut anytime. You had great pace, as you know. A couple incidents took you out, I think, from the results you probably should have deserved. How important was running here last year for you here this year?
Oh, super important. I mean, not just driving the car for the first time, but I don't think I will ever, and I hadn't ever driven a street circuit so brutal like this one. I'd driven Bathurst, and that was nothing compared to here. The bumps, the walls, just how narrow it is, and the racing style, absolutely vital. I could almost put yesterday's result onto that experience, but super important. That last year, even though I got 2 DNFs, it paid off now. Yeah, very good experience for Eddie Beswick. Synergy Motorsports, what a great ride yesterday for them to get to the podium. A huge, fantastic story here on the streets of Toronto. He talked about making his debut in USF 2000 last year. This weekend, it'll be Liam McNeely making his debut here in the USF Pro 2000 category. Came out of the box. The first time he's ever even driven the car was in practice here on Friday. Liam, of course, having one race yesterday. We'll be back at it again here this morning. We talked to him earlier this weekend. If you've been watching the USF Pro Championships at the start of the year back at St. Petersburg, you know in USF 2000, one driver was the dominant factor. This guy right here, Liam McNeely, won the first 5 races of the year in USF 2000 for J. Howard Driver Development, but some visa issues kept him out of the U.S. for the remainder of the season. We're in Canada here this weekend. He's allowed in the country. So first off, welcome back.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. Obviously, I haven't seen the team in a couple months. So yeah, it's just good to see everyone really, and good to be back.
So you come here not running in USF 2000, USF Pro 2000, which is incredible, first and foremost. Last year you made your debut here in USF 2000. You were on the front row, had great results here. What made you come back for Toronto in the Pro car?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, good to get some seat time in Pro. And, I think, we had a good start to USF 2000. So, I mean, we sort of decided that why not go to Pro and see what we can do, really, and push myself, a little bit more.
I think you've probably earned it, right? You've shown what you can do, 5 races in a row to start the season off. This USF Pro 2000 car, had you driven it before Toronto?
No. First practice is going to be, a bit tense, but, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. It's always a big challenge hopping in a new car, especially at a street track. So, I mean, it's just going to help, sort of improve me as a driver, and we'll see how we get on.
You won both races at St. Petersburg. You were good here last year. What is it about street circuits that makes you so fast?
I don't know. I mean, I just sort of gel with street circuits. I don't know what it is, but I just seem to sort of find the grip. And, I mean, I just have confidence in between the walls. I don't know what it is, but, we'll see how we get on.
So, looking forward, are we talking about USF Pro 2000 full-time in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, we'll try. We'll see when the visa comes. But, I mean, that's the plan. Obviously, I love racing in North America. It's got a great path to sort of IndyCar. Nothing like it in the world. So, it'll be good to, continue on the path. And, we'll see how we sort of progress on in the winter and see how we get on.
As we know, Liam McNeely, folks, last year one of the front runners in USF Juniors, had that grace run here in USF 2000, won the first 5 races of the year in USF 2000, was probably on his way to a championship, but got derailed a little bit. Him coming back in 2026 in USF Pro 2000, this could be your primary title contender right out of the gate.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Good morning to those of you here trackside, those of you watching on the YouTube channel at home, around the country, and of course around the world, as this international field of both USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000 racers set to tackle this very challenging racetrack one more time. 2 races yesterday, both thrilling to watch, with obviously big victors. Jack Jeffers scoring the win in USF 2000. Max Garcia locking down the USF Pro 2000 championship with yet another victory here. The young Florida driver set to go for Indy next in 2026. My name's Rob Howden. I'll be joined on the broadcast today by the voice of this event, Mr. Todd Lewis. But we're going to dive right in to the driver introductions. 19 racers set to go. We're about 4 minutes away from the command, maybe 5 minutes away from the command to fire engine. So let's get things underway and get things started for today's Continental Tire Grand Prix of Toronto. Back-to-back races for you here in USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. 19 drivers set to go here. The driver at the very tail of the field from California, Ryan Janetta, had issued qualifying. They were not able to get the car ready to go yesterday for race number 1. He'll finally get a chance to go wheel to wheel. The rookie driver in the number 99 set to start here in the 19th position. Moving up to row number 9 on the outside, but a couple trips to the wall for Christian Cameron out of Sonoma, California. The VRD driver, the number 19, will aim to stay clean and green through to the end of this one here. This a rookie in the program here in 2025. Would likely see him back in USF 2000 and 2026, having learned so much throughout the season thus far. Alongside Christian, a driver who is a USF Juniors full-time driver, Kaylee Countryman out of Arizona, the young lady, part of 3 young ladies we have in our USF Juniors program. Her run up here into the USF 2000 program. She's going to do a full season next year, so why not come to Toronto, get a feel for it as a rookie, and then be able to come back with that experience next year. She'll start in the 17th position. Moving now up into row number 8 on the outside from South Africa for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development. That is Vian Boshoff, the rookie in the 67. He'll start alongside Sebastian Garzone for D-Force Racing in the number 12. Garzone out of Bogota, Colombia. We'll go to row number 7 now. Both D-Force Racing drivers. It'll be Joshua Aliganel on the outside from the Woodlands, Texas, the rookie in the number 11, starting 14th. Alongside him, one of the 2 Gonzalez brothers, starting 13th position. There it is right there, the number 17 of Rodrigo Gonzalez. Both Patricio and Rodrigo, both full-time drivers in the USF Juniors program. Rodrigo's brother Patricio will start on the outside of row number 6 in that number 15 machine. The D-Force Racing driver starting in the 12th spot. Pato getting set to go from the outside of row 6. He'll start alongside the driver who drove from 12th up to 2nd yesterday. Multi-time Australian Formula Ford champion for Synergy Motorsports. That is Ezzy Beswick. Fantastic drive for Eddie yesterday, working his way all the way up into 2nd. Let's get ourselves into the top 10 right now. Row number 5, the driver who was in the battle for a championship league, currently 2nd in the points out of Bethel, Ohio, for VRD Racing. Thomas Schrag will start in the 10th position. Alongside him from Pacific Palisades, California, Timmy Carell in the J. Howard Driver Development number 8. Row 4, we'll see Anthony Martelli, the young Canadian, of Woodbridge, Ontario, the home race for Martelli. He had a fantastic drive yesterday. The J. Howard Driver Development pilot starting 8th. And alongside him, sitting 3rd place in points, the number 25 for VRD Racing. That is Teddy Masella. Look for Teddy to attack early. Up now to row number 3. In fact, row 3 will be all exclusive Autosport. Lucas Facuri went to the tail of the field after a spin. Some contact early in race number 1. He drove his way all the way back up to 7th. This time he'll start 6th. Look for Facuri to fight for a podium finish. And his exclusive Autosport teammate Evan Cooley, who had a fuel pump issue in race number 1, parked it on the side of the track after being scheduled to start on the outside of the front row. Cooley looking for a much better day here today. This is Caleb Gaffera out of Midland, North Carolina. Gaffera for Pabst Racing, a winner at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course just a couple of weeks ago. He'll start in 4th after an issue yesterday with a failed wire as well. G3 Argyros out of Newport Beach, California for Pabst Racing, going to start in the 3rd spot. 19 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Off pole from Australia, the number 7 of Brad Majman for Jay Howard Driver Development. Very talented young pilot, talking right there to his team owner, Jay Howard, getting him dialed in and ready to go. But the driver starting on the pole position here today comes into the day here with a 23-point lead in the championship from San Antonio, Texas, in the Corpay machine for exclusive Autosport. That is Jack Jeffers, coming off his 4th win of the season yesterday. We'll start P1 here today. Jefferson Majman on row 1, Argyros and Gaffera row 2, Cooley and Facuri row 3, Masella and Martella row 4, Carell and Schrag row 5, Beswick alongside Gonzalez row 6, Gonzalez and Lionel row 7, Garzone and Bossoff row 8, Countryman and Cameron row 9, and Janetta on that 10th row. Time to get things underway, and once again we have one of our guests from Continental Tire Canada down on pit lane, the command of fire engines coming from Sandra Da Silva.
Continental Tire, the smart tire of choice. Drivers, start your engines.
And there you have it. Every one of these drivers firing up these engines, all built by Elite Engines in West Bend, Wisconsin, led by 1998 Indianapolis 500 Rookie of the Year Steve Knapp. The entire Knapp family puts their life into these engines, and everybody on this grid and in USF Pro 2000 motors built out of that shop. They're all on Continental tires. They're all running the Tatis chassis. It is time to go racing here for USF 2000. Let's bring Todd Lewis in before we give you the top 5 in points. Todd, some fantastic racing yesterday.
We had great racing yesterday. I am still always amazed at the calm and relaxed disposition of these young drivers as they're doing driver introductions. They're waving to the camera, clapping, giving high fives. They're relaxed, just out for a great fun on the Sunday morning, and I think that's the best attitude and approach. And hey, it's nice that the IndyCars cleaned the track off for you guys today as opposed to the other way around.
We do appreciate that. Thank you very much to all the IndyCar drivers for clearing up some of that wet weather from this morning. Let's have a look at the top 5 in points right now, folks. Jack Jeffers, as I had said, a 23-point lead right now, 320 points to Thomas Schrag's 297. They will fight their way here. 4 more races left to go in the championship. This one here today, and then 3 races, a triple header at Portland in a couple of weeks' time. You can see that racetrack still a little bit damp coming through turn number 1. This will be an interesting start for sure. Teddy Musella in the 3rd spot. He's still a ways back. G3 Argyros and Caleb Gaffera need to kind of sweep to the end of the season if they want to challenge at all for the championship. It is going to be a battle for sure. Being told 2 formation laps. Give these drivers a chance to see this racetrack. We know that there was moisture overnight from the rains. IndyCar did their best to get things dried up for us, but here we are right now with 2 laps around this racetrack. Being told there's a safety car in turn number 7. That's where the primarily damp area is. That comes from race control, so a good opportunity for these drivers to head around the track. Let's look at this racetrack as well. As we know, turn 1, that long run heading toward Princess Gates. Turn 1, the right-hander. It narrows down to a kind of a bend. Turn 2, the big run down Lakeshore Boulevard, one of the longest straightaways we have in the series. This is turn number 2 here, all the way down Lakeshore Boulevard. These cars are going to go about as fast as they go, and then down to the slowest corner on the circuit right here, turn number 3. You woe it up, you transition from the pavement over to the concrete. The car can get loose through that, not as much grip. Climbing back up the hill and quite a severe elevation jump into this little short chute to turn number 5. You roll through 5, it's very tight. That wall on the outside will grab you. This is turn number 6, right-hand sweeper through 7, which is another kind of a kink corner. Drivers are flat out through 7. And then right down into the hard-braking turn number 8. We saw Santuna Ferrucci have an issue here in this corner here. Another transition, look at from pavement to concrete, bumping in the corner. It is a very tough racetrack. And then this final complex of corners, 9, 10, and 11. 9, you roll into the right side there, in the right side of the racetrack. Left, right through a very tough, this is a very bumpy part of the racetrack. And then turn 11, we've seen a number of drivers already in the wall here this weekend coming out of turn number 11. You're counting on the car. You're counting on you hitting the apex of that corner as well. Todd, any driver will tell you, St. Petersburg is a tough racetrack. It's where we start the season for all these drivers. Very tough. This place takes it to another level. It's a street circuit. It's the same thing. It's concrete line, but the way this track is done, the pavement, the concrete, the bumps, there is nothing like trying to get around the streets of Toronto.
Much like the USF Pro Championships, each level is a little bit more, and Toronto is a little bit more than St. Petersburg. More concrete, more asphalt, and more bumps and changes and transitions. It's also different ages of asphalt. Some is a little newer. There's a little bit of newer asphalt through 3 and the braking zone approaching corner 3, and then up through 4 towards 5. There's some new asphalt there. There's older asphalt and concrete. Different textures of concrete as well, so it gives you different grip levels. It's a great education process.
Thursday afternoon, we did the track walking. You can see all the IndyCar drivers out there rubbing the feet of their sneakers on that. Okay, how rough is this piece of concrete? Oh, this is a bit different from last year. Every little nuance of the racetrack. This particular shot here, this is new concrete coming through turn number 5. It had a different abrasion level than some of the other parts of the racetrack. So we've got, number one, the drivers a chance to have a look at the racetrack. They've picked up what they can in terms of where the moisture is. They've been able to try to build some heat into these Continental tires. Now's the time, once they go by the alternate timing stripe here, is to get yourself in line. Get yourself 2x2. It's time to go racing. It is a 20-lap race. It is a 40-minute time limit. Time to get at it here. 4 races still to go in the USF 2000 championship for this season. The big money up for grabs in the championship, $405,000 scholarship to move to USF Pro 2000 in 2026. The run down to turn number 1 is always a wild one. It's going to be Jeffers on the inside, Majman on the outside, Argyros and Gaffera, the 2 Pabst racing cars, occupying row number 2. Here we go for the first time here on what will be a beautiful Sunday. We're going racing here on the streets of Toronto. The Continental Tire Grand Prix of Toronto is green, green, green. The race now down into turn number 1. Little move to the inside. Jeffers will get through cleanly. Looks to be like Argyros able to potentially get to the inside of Brad Majman. Indeed, Argyros, solid start from P3 following the pole sitter through. Here's the first run down. They'll clip the corner there to turn number 3, heading down to turn 3. It's a bending straightaway down Lakeshore Boulevard into the braking zone now. Jack Jeffers, the first driver into that braking zone. Everybody checking up nicely. Good job so far early on. We'll see if we have any big movers early. 2 wide coming out of turn number 4 over to 5. Here's a move to the inside as well. That is Jeffers trying to, that is Gaffera going at it with Cooley. Evan Cooley, who had the issue yesterday at the start, able to get the spot. I think Cooley is through. He'll be to P4 now. Move Cooley up to 4th. But here comes Gaffera looking back to the inside of turn number 7. Does he have it to the inside? Oh, there's trouble for Cooley. Cooley's tapped the wall. He has damaged the left rear. Left rear damage for Cooley. He'll be coming to, he's coming to pit lane. A couple of drivers hitting the wall coming out of the corner. Cooley being one of them. Thomas Schrag. Schrag hits the wall as well. And the number 9, I believe, off as well. That's Anthony Martella. And all the action coming through turn number 7. We have 3 drivers tagging the wall with left rear damage. Todd, tough one for every one of those drivers.
That is the area that the IndyCar drivers were most concerned about. That's the damp area out on the track. You see a little bit of different full course caution out as everyone's going to slow up on the speedway. And that was the area that everyone was most concerned about. And there we have another car that looks like they've had contact and didn't quite make it back. That's through corner number 8.
That's a 30 of Eddie Beswick, who has gone off over there in turn number 8. What happened to me, I think as they were coming out of the corner there, we'll give you the replay, Evan Cooley had taken the spot away in turn number 5 from Caleb Gaffera, but got a little wide coming out of turn 6 through 7. Have a look here as they come through turn number 7, and look at a little further back. You're going to see that, and you're going to see the driver coming through wide on the exit. Look at mid-corner oversteer, loses the rear, tries to collect it into the wall. Right behind him, Thomas Schrag Martella doing exactly the same thing. And where does, I think, potentially exactly the same thing for the number 2 of Thomas Schrag as well. My goodness. And Beswick as well. That is 4 drivers making contact with a wall on the outside of turn number 7. Look at all these left rears. They're not sure which way to go.
That's exactly the same issue for each of those drivers coming through 7. That's the slickest part of the track. It was a little bit damp, carries you out towards the outside wall. They went a little too far, tapped the left rear, and we're going to lose so many cars right off the hop.
So indeed, we are full course yellow right now, and a wild start to this one. I'm telling you, the opening laps are tough. That felt like it was almost a chain reaction kind of thing where everybody kind of came out and they saw the issues with Cooley. He's in the wall. He's doing a full tank slapper. He's trying to hold on to it, and luckily he did a great job collecting a car that had a broken left rear suspension, able to get it and limp it back to pit lane. But that means, so Christian Cameron, I don't see him taking his first lap as I'm going through the field here. Eddie Beswick out, Schrag, Martella, and Cooley. Here's Evan Cooley trying to bounce back from the issue yesterday with a broken wire in the fuel pump. He was scheduled to start on the outside of the front row. This time able to jump himself quickly up into fourth, but a minor mistake, losing the rear of the car, coming through turn number 7. He tags the wall. Martella probably checking up behind him. He loses a bit. And remember, let's lean into the fact that this track is very green. Yeah, we had a lot of overnight rain. You can see still some damp areas on the racetrack. Tires probably not up to temperature. Even though IndyCar was out for a full session, these drivers coming through turn 7 just lost that rear end a little bit. Martella tags the wall, Schrag tags the wall, Beswick tags the wall. And you're probably going to see that all it takes is a little bit of a mistake, a little oversteer coming out of that corner. And, man, that wall creeps up on you.
You're just following the car so closely ahead of you, and you get carried in, and out of sympathy, you're almost in the wall to right behind them.
All 4 of those cars, except for Beswick, was able to get back. They brought Beswick quickly into pit lane, so we're going to go back to green flag racing here momentarily. And they'll try to work their way through. You got to watch out for wheel spin here. Argyros right with them, but will Brad Matchman go to work on Argyros? Let's see what Jeffers does. Does he run the bottom? No, he'll run the outside, similar to what we saw yesterday in USF Pro when Garcia was able to get away. Here's the moves to the inside. Gaffera trying to follow his teammate right through. Gaffera looking to the inside of Brad Majman. Not quite there. Look for Gaffera to get a run coming down the straightaway here. Jeffers clean and green out of 1. He's going to have probably 3, maybe 4 car lengths coming down. Oh, big run for Majman. They're all running that inside line. Majman's going to stay to the he's going to try to go on the outside of Argyros. Majman to the outside. Oh, a little contact there at the apex. Majman still got the spot. Beautiful overtake on the outside. Wing damage there for Sebastian Garzon a little further back. And now it's Lucas Facuri up there trying to battle it out with the drivers up front. Facuri, Carell, Masella all in there. Jack Jeffers leading the way. Argyros, who was second, is fallen back into third. Great attack there for Brad Majman. Got a good run. He was getting attacked by himself in the back. Here goes Gaffera to the inside. Book it. He gets through on his teammate. So Gaffera to third. Argyros back to fourth. That may be Timmy Carell now up into the 5th spot. That's the best we've seen out of Timmy Carell this year. He is up on the wheel. Love seeing these young drivers getting that pace midway through the season. So Jeffers, Majman, Gaffera, Argyros, and Carell. Right behind Carell is Lucas Facuri. Teddy Masella runs in 7th. Joshua Leonel in 8th. There's a wing right there gone. We'll try to pick up which driver that is. Maybe one of the D-Force cars. But Teddy Masella runs 7th. Joshua Leonel on 8th. Patricio Gonzalez in 9th. And Sebastian Garzon in 10th. I had mentioned Garzon had wing damage. That wing may have exited stage right.
Good battle at the front of the field. Jack Jeffers is watching it in his rearview mirror just the way he wants to. Majman, Gaffera, Argyros, and Timothy Carell, as you mentioned, now up into the top 5. A lot of shuffling in those top 4 positions.
Indeed, we're being told the wing on the front straightaway potentially here for Sebastian Garzon. Yeah, we're going to go full course caution to clean that up. So a wing from Garzon off, and he's just had a rough weekend for sure. This has been a tough one for him. No doubt about that. So he'll be able to at least get in there. You're going to see the wing take off here a little further back. Look for the replay of that wing get underneath the tire. Listen, that's one of the reasons if you're a casual race fan or if you're a fan of IndyCar or you watch what we have in the USF Pro Championships, a lot of the time when the wing gets really close to potentially falling off, race control may ask that driver to come in, especially on a street circuit where if it does fall off and get pulled under, you can get into the wall, number one, significant damage. You can collect more drivers behind you. That's race control always looks at the severity of the damage on a front wing.
Yes, it's a safety issue, not just for the driver who may lose that front wing and, of course, have the lack of downforce on the front. But if it comes off, there's debris on track. You can cause a puncture for other drivers. That's a safety issue that officials will keep an eye on as we circulate under yellow to clean that debris up. And 2 cautions, 6 laps in. Jack Jeffers out in front. Majman, Gaffera, Argyros, and and Carell the top 5. A little bit of shuffling. Some good battles in the short bits of green that we've had.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's give a shout out to Timmy Carell, 100% from Pacific Palisades, California, the number 8 for Jay Howard Driver Development. He's got a couple of top 10s this year. I think three or four top 10s, but to be running up here in P5, staying out of the trouble, the chaos from the opening circuit, he was able to get through that, and that has paid off for him right now, running in that 5th position. Lucas Facurian 6th, Teddy Musella 7th, Joshua Leonel 8th, Patricio Gonzalez 9th, Garzone heading to pit lane, likely to get a new wing on that car. He'll be 14th. That moves Rodrigo Gonzalez up to 10th, Ian Boshoff to 11th, Ryan Janetta up into 12th, and Kaylee Countryman into 13th. As we said before, Christian Cameron not taking the green flag, a weekend to forget for the young driver out of Sonoma, California. And then the opening lap chaos, the slippery nature of the track coming through turn number 7, bit Evan Cooley, Anthony Martella, Thomas Schrag, and Eddie Bethwick. I feel bad for Anthony Martella, a Canadian driver. This is the big race for him, and again, having the issue. A great run yesterday, battling with his teammate Brad Majman, but really tough for him to be out so early with the nature of, again, of turn number 7. Jack Jeffers able to defend on the opening lap. Look for Caleb Gaffera to try to pounce big time here on Brad Majman. Gaffera right there, and they're going to go to the outside. Green flag does fly. You can see that Carell going to the bottom. Here comes a move to the inside. Gaffera going to go side by side with Brad Majman. Majman holding on. Look at Argyros trying to get in there too. The two Paps drivers trying to jump on top of the Jay Howard car of Majman. Here's the run, Todd, down the back straightaway.
That was a hard move by Gaffera up the inside through corner number 1, but he did give Brad Majman room to the outside. They're drag racing down towards corner number 3. Looks like he'll be able to hold the spot, but Majman's hanging on the outside pretty good.
You can do that if you're there, but you got to give each other enough room. It gets so tight when you come back up the hill. Majman's going to look to the inside, coming into turn 5. Oh, does he get through? He does. Brad Majman fights right back up. Oh, we've got the gloves out right now. This is big stuff. Brad Majman looking for his first race win. Argyros looking for his first race win. Carell as well. Gaffera was a victor at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. But this is a good old-fashioned street fight right now as Gaffera looking back to the inside of turn number 8.
This is great side-by-side racing. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. All battling for position right now, and you can't really go too wide through this part as the cars are getting a little squirrely.
You see Teddy Musella super wide coming through turn number 10, able to get it back around. Teddy Musella, 3rd place in points, an opportunity to take over 2nd from his teammate Thomas Schrag, who is 17th in the final running order with the damage he had. Everybody still scrapping further back. We've got 8 laps down, 12 still to go. The first of 2 USF Pro Championship races for you here to set things up for the Honda dealers of Ontario, Indy Toronto. This is big stuff. Oh, look at this fight further back again. Gaffera coming across the bow. Oh, a little contact there between Majman and Argyros on the apex of 3. Let's see if he comes back at him. In fact, no, that's actually battling with Musella. He's been able to work his way up. He's now putting the pressure on Majman. Oh, my goodness, Todd. These guys are going at it. Right now, you know, Majman's kind of on damage control there. The contact between he and Argyros kind of put him on the back foot on the outside line. That's not where he wanted to be. And again, here comes a defensive cover off the bottom for Musella. Look who else is in the fight. Come in here for Joshua Leonel and Lucas Facuri.
This is great action in the USF 2000 series. Jack Jeffers is out in front, has himself a little bit of a gap, but 2nd through 4th and 5th, it is a fight.
Just pulled a piece of paper over here for myself so I make sure I get the title of the race correct, Todd. The Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto.
You got it.
You've been practicing that coming in for a week, didn't you?
I have been practicing, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Jeffers leading now by 1.7 seconds. There's the lead there. Actually, that's 2nd and 3rd, then back to 4th. Top 3 drivers look locked in here right now. Look at the battle all the way back to P4. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, all right there. This is great stuff in USF 2000. And we'll say this, Todd, if you look at live timing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rookies right now in the top 10. For these drivers, it's not so much about this year. Yeah, Jack Jeffers, Caleb Gaffera, Teddy Musella may be thinking about pro next year. Maybe they'll come back for another year of USF 2000. But for a lot of the drivers, This is about next year, learning this racetrack. First time they've been to Toronto, learn the intricacies, all the little bits, the secrets of this racetrack. You learn it now to be ready for 2026.
And look at the great experience that Patricio and Rodrigo Gonzalez are getting, running up in the top 10 in USF 2000. Again, thinking ahead to further down in their careers. Kaylee Countryman had a great run yesterday. She's having another good race today.
Yeah, and she's using this weekend 100% as, let's say, 5 test sessions, right? She's a USF Juniors driver, just came into the program this year. The Gonzalez brothers, their second year in USF Juniors. Of course, the plan for sure for them is to move up into USF 2000 next season. So for Countryman, 5 test sessions, hang out at the back, don't make any mistakes, learn this racetrack. When you come back, it's going to be so much easier for her, and she's taking the garbage the guys are throwing at her. As they come off the racetrack, she moves up the order. She's currently running in the 13th position. So there's the gap there again. The fight continuing right now as now Brad Majman battling Teddy Masella for 4th position in this second race for USF 2000. Good stuff, and you can see how they're line nose to tail from 4th almost back to 10th position now. Vian Bossoff, the South African for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing Development, is in there as well, as is Ryan Janetta in the number 99. Been a really rough season for Ryan, so I'm pleased to see him running laps here. Young driver out of California. The bad luck has been plaguing him like a black cloud hanging over top of him. Always in the wrong place at the wrong time, but trying to get that first race for him. He wasn't even able to start yesterday, Todd, because the damage they had in qualifying for race 2, they couldn't get it fixed for race number 1.
Such a frustrating weekend when that occurs. We discussed it at other events. As you get through the sessions clean. Make sure you run all the laps. Make sure you run as many laps as possible. If you have an issue or trouble in practice or the early qualifying session, it sets you back so easily for the rest of the weekend.
Jack Jeffers out there in front in the exclusive Autosport number 92 machine. 3 straight wins right now. 4 wins on the season. Caleb Gaffaro won the front end of the triple header at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course a couple of weeks ago. But then Jack Jeffers came back and won race 2, race 3. He won the opening run of the doubleheader here, as we know, yesterday. So looking for his 4th straight victory. Out front now by 1.5 seconds. Both he and Caleb Gaffaro, very similar lap times, 1:13.1s. These two guys here, Jack Jeffers and Caleb Gaffaro, best friends off the racetrack. They've been hanging around each other since the early days of karting. So, and again, for me, one of the cool things is I also publish a website called ekartingnews.com. I'm literally looking at this like I'm calling an old KA100 junior race or a cadet karting race. Jeffers, Gaffaro, Argyros, Masella, Majman. All the top 5 drivers have been all top karters over the last 5 to 6 years.
How great to see them as they continue to progress through their careers through karting and now up into open wheel racing in the second rung of the USF Pro Championships. Jack Jeffers, as you mentioned, having himself a sensational weekend. What a birthday celebration weekend he is having. Just turned 19 a couple of days ago.
Yes.
Came in here tied in the championship with Thomas Schrag, and this was going to be a key weekend to see which way the championship fell. Jeffers has taken it and run with it. Schrag had trouble with the qualifying session, the second qualifying session for race number 2. Now has problems, wound up starting further back in the field, got into the wall early. It's going to be another not so great finish for Thomas Schrag, to say the least, and Jeffers has really got his eyes on that championship now.
No doubt about it. This blows things wide open, and I said so tough for Thomas Schrag, who came in here tied. Both those drivers, 288 points coming in with 5 races left to go. Very wide coming out of the corner there for, I believe, Teddy Masella. He's been able to break away from Brad Majman. Has a bit of breathing room here. There's the best fight on the racetrack right now. That is Joshua Leonel and Lucas Facuri. And I'll tell you, let's give a shout out to Joshua Leonel on the podium at St. Petersburg earlier in the year. He struggled a bit for the rest of the season, but he is really hustling it hard here on the streets of Toronto. A little bit wide coming through turn number 10 there. We may see a challenge coming down. Lucas Facuri is on it with the draft. Will he make a move to the inside at turn number 1? We'll see when they come down. Yeah, he definitely looks to the inside. Facuri alongside. Not quite there through turn number 2. Out to the outside. And listen, that's a wise move there for the 11 of a Leonel. Tuck back in, Todd. You got the full run down for the draft into turn number 3.
And that battle is going side by side, headed now towards corner number 3, trying to hold on and complete that pass, trying to get the car slowed up on the inside, and yes, does come through. That's a great example of a pass that starts well back on the racetrack, started through corner number 10, 11, through 1, and finally completed in 3.
A little bit wide for a Leonel coming through turn number 10. Had to woe it up for turn 13 laps in. It'll be 14 laps when Caleb Gaffaro and Jack Jeffers get back around. Caleb Gaffaro second, Jack Jeffers P1. Jeffers has the fast lap of the race so far. He'll already lock down the bonus points for most laps led as we're past the halfway point with 7 laps remaining. 14 drivers remain on the racetrack. Shout out to D-Force Racing. They got a new wing on the car for Sebastian Garzon. Got him back out in the lead lap. So that young rookie driver who won the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series last year is back on the racetrack here again. There's that fight a little bit further back. Love that one as well. That is Patricio Gonzalez and Ryan Janetta going at it. That is for the position inside the top 10, P10. Gonzalez currently 10th. Janetta running in 11th. Up front, majority of the top 5 here have separated. There's Lucas Facuri trying to pull away again, as we've talked about that battle he had with Joshua Leonel. Rodrigo Gonzalez all by himself there now. Then it's Timmy Carell running 9th. And then it's Gonzalez, Janetta, and Vian Bosov. That is 10th, 11th, and 12th, nose to tail. With what will be 5 laps to go. Janetta to the inside in turn number 5. Oh, he goes wide. He's in. Book it. Great pass there for Janetta. I'll tell you, here's the thing. Shallow entry into 5. You're going to be pointing right at the wall coming out of the corner. Here he comes back on the inside again. Oh, coming through turn number 7. Oh, little wiggle there for Janetta. As Gonzalez goes back again. What an epic dogfight right now for the final spot inside the top 10.
That's a great battle to watch, and as you saw the car step out just a little bit through 7, definitely still some damp areas on that racetrack through corner number 7. Not much sun getting through there right now, so taking longer to dry out, something these drivers need to be aware of as they're trying to battle through.
Yeah, sun, a lot of breeze, and temperature, what we need right now. We don't have any sun, we don't have any breeze, and it's 70 degrees, so you can see how wet the track still is coming through turn number 1, but the one benefit is we do have a lot of heat built into these Continental tires right now, Todd, so they are giving the grip these drivers need. There's just a couple of corners where you're normally flat out that I think the drivers are feeling that mid-corner oversteer. There's that battle there, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Rodrigo Gonzalez, or Patricio Gonzalez, Ryan Janetta, and Vian Bosov. Big move to the inside of turn 5 that last lap for Janetta. We talked about the fact a shallow entry into that corner means you're pointing right at the wall on the exit. You've got to get it turned and rotated pretty quickly, and Ryan did a great job there, but he had a handful of car. When you do that, you lose a little bit of the exit, and kind of the over-under is what allowed Gonzalez to tuck back to the inside coming through 7.
That's why corner 5 is not really considered one of the prime passing zones here. Corner 3, of course, corner 1, sometimes occasionally corner 8, but it is rare to see a pass in 5.
Yeah, I won't call it a prime passing area, more like a prime drama area, right? More often than not, a couple of drivers are together in that wall, communicating with each other from the cockpit. We've seen
communicating,
that many times.
Yes, yeah.
4 laps remain. Jack Jeffers up front by 2.4 seconds. 2/10 quicker than Gaffera on that last lap. Gaffera's got 3 seconds on his teammate as well. So Caleb Gaffera, who currently sits P5 in points. You think about the drivers trying to get to the top 3, right? Those are the 3 positions we celebrate at the championship banquet at the end of every year, the top 3 drivers. So who is it going to be? Gaffera and Ardros trying to see if they can't leapfrog over Thomas Schrag and Teddy Masella. And again, as we know, Jack Jeffers was a 23-point lead coming in, trying to extend that point gap, that cushion, heading into the 3 races at Portland International Raceway in just 3 weeks' time. 99 points up for grabs in that particular race if you were to sweep the entire weekend. So indeed, just like Max Garcia, Jack Jeffers could be thinking about that leaving here from Toronto. Good battle there. That's Timmy Carell and Rodrigo Gonzalez. Great pickup there for our camera crew. That's running for 8th and 9th. You see Janetta a little loose coming out of turn number 8. You wonder whether or not the tires are going away a little bit. He had a fresh set for sure because he did not run race number 1. Rolling through the corners. That's Facuri, Leonel. And then this battle between Gonzalez and Carell for 8th and 9th. 11th and 12th, Ryan Janetta and Vian Bosov. There's Gaffera in the 24. For Pabst Racing, looking to put another podium on. Lock up there for Masella as he's getting chased aggressively by Brad Majman. Again, very impressed with how the drivers are handling this tough situation here. You can see these cars just moving around like crazy. Bumpy, slick, all that grip that was laid down yesterday, gone from all the overnight rains. Yeah, IndyCar had a morning warm-up to put some rubber down, but it was still fairly damp in a number of areas on the racetrack when we took the green flag, Todd. So these drivers, the ones that are still running here, the 14 to the 19, still doing a great job.
Yeah, absolutely. Hanging on is a great way to describe it because, yes, there are just a few damp areas, but we combine that with the bumps, the lack of grip because of the rubber that was removed because of overnight rain. It's a great job by these young racers. Unfortunate that we lost a few in the early going. Just get caught out a little bit in what you would normally do, trying to be cautious. We had the extra pace lap to help them through, to dry the track and give them an extra reminder, but unfortunately caught a few of our contenders out early on.
2 laps remaining. Jeffers, Gafera, Argyros, your current podium. Will it end that way? They are separated significantly up front. Biggest battle we know. Fakuri has been able to get by a Lionel. We saw the Gonzalez and Carell battle, the Janetta and Bossoff scrap. That's here coming through the corner. In fact, that is actually Joshua Lionel closing back up 3/10 quicker on the last lap. He's going to fight Fakuri for P6. Everybody digging here. They'll see the white flag this next time by. Here comes your leader, Jack Jeffers. Let's give him a little airtime, right? Because we've been watching the battles further back. As I said before, 2 victories to cap off the triple header at Mid-Ohio. He won yesterday, so it's back-to-back Jacks so far. Can he make it 4 in a row? White flag flying here at start-finish. Final circuit. Gafera having a tremendous run. First year in the USF Pro Championships for Caleb Gafera, the young driver in North Carolina. Back in 2022 was the outright best go-kart racer in North America. Won almost everything you could win. Did some Skip Barber Formula Car Series racing, did a couple of British Formula Ford races as well, does a little bit of sports car racing, but his first year here in the USF Pro Championships, in contrast to Jack Jeffers, who had a couple of years of USF Juniors. Great run here for Gafera, first time with a full season running in this USF 2000 program. But this one's now all about this driver right here, the number 92, the Corpe exclusive Autosport machine for Jack Jeffers out of San Antonio, Texas. Loving it here, his first trip to Toronto. Just a couple more corners to go. It was a 3.1 second lead last time by. He'll navigate his way through the bumpy turn number 8, give himself a little bit more room. Final corners coming, 23-point lead coming in. He will extend that one for sure. Out of the final corners here on the front straightaway. And let's rename them, folks. It's back to back to back to back Jack Jeffers as he comes away with the victory. 2 wins in Toronto. Jeffers extends the point lead. Caleb Gafera and G3 Argyros make it 2 Pabst Racing drivers on the podium as well. Great drive for Gafera. Fantastic run as well for Argyros. Teddy Musella finishes in 4th. 4 of the drivers in the top 5 finished in the top 4. The only driver that luck came and grabbed was Thomas Schrag. P2 in points coming in. He finishes down in 17th position. Jeffers, Gafera, Argyros on the podium. Teddy Musella, Brad Majman, 4th and 5th. Lucas Fakuri up into 6th, topping that 7th place finish from yesterday. Joshua Ali now pressured him through the very end of the race. He finishes 7th. Rodrigo Gonzalez in 8th. Timmy Carell 9th, and Patricio Gonzalez rounding out the top 10. Great to see Ryan Janetta get home, see a checkered flag, roll that car back onto the trailer at the end of the day.
Great run for Jack Jeffers, as you mentioned. 4 consecutive victories now. Gets the fast lap of the race as well, and ran the fast lap on his second to last lap as well. Keeping it down, head down, focus forward, wins by 3.6 seconds. A solid run, a solid weekend, just about as good as you could get for Jack Jeffers.
Indeed that. They're going to work their way in here momentarily. I'll head out to Victory Lane, grab the microphone. We're going to try to talk to our top 3 drivers as we did yesterday, but we'll be there when Jack Jeffers gets out of the race car.
Have a look at the rest of the running order for race number 2. As you mentioned, Ryan Giannetta with a terrific run. Vian Boshoff, Garzon. Kaylee Countryman comes home with a 14th place finish. Another good run for her, getting through all of the laps, finishing all of the sessions. The struggles, though, unfortunate for a couple of drivers. If Evan Cooley, Anthony Martella, Thomas Schrag, who got caught out in the early going. They came through corner number 7, got a little bit wide, tapped the left rear on the outside wall through corner number 7. That was the dampest area out on the racetrack after the overnight rains. Things have been drying up continuously, but all 3 of those drivers get caught out. Looked like they were all limping back to pit lane with pretty much the same set of damage on that left rear. And unfortunate for Martella, of course, in front of his hometown crowd, and of course for Thomas Schrag, who came into the weekend tied with Jack Jeffers for the championship, but has suffered a big setback with the difficulties that he has suffered, especially here today, getting knocked out early because of that problem. USF Pro 2000 race number 2 is coming up in just a couple couple of minutes. We'll have that for you. It'll be Max Garcia who will lead the field to green. Scored the victory yesterday. Like Jack Jeffers, he'll be trying to sweep the weekend. And there you see him coming into victory lane. That is your winner in USF 2000. 2 for 2 here in Toronto. 2 for 2 a couple of weeks ago. And it is 4 in a row for Jack Jeffers, really trying to make a statement in the latter stages of this season, going through and getting his hand on that championship trophy, and more importantly, getting his hand on that championship check to elevate him to the next level of the USF Pro Championships. USF Pro Series will be out shortly with their second race of the weekend. As mentioned, we'll get to Rob momentarily in Victory Circle with all of our podium finishers. Jack Jeffers, who turned 19 just a couple of days ago, on Thursday of this past week entering, said it was going to be a bit of a celebration, but maybe not quite as big a celebration as you would expect for a 19th birthday. But after a double race weekend win, there will be a big celebration, and it's going to start right now.
There he is, Todd, out of the race car. Jack Jeffers, 4 straight wins to run through to the final weekend in Portland. The celebration with the team, of course, at the end of this race. A fantastic job for him. What a drive. Getting a chance to chat with the team here. They've worked hard on this one here. A battle, a challenging racetrack, the issues early on. Jack will work his way through everybody here right now. Let's get a chance to get a hold of him here momentarily. Jack Jeffers, come over here, my friend. Let's have a quick chat. 4 straight wins. Obviously, Road America was a rough weekend for you. We've talked a lot about this, but 4 straight wins, going out there in tough conditions. How do you feel right now with this victory?
Obviously, I'm happy, Yeah, it was tough conditions. It was tough to adapt, but it's the same for everybody. Nobody had an advantage, so it was whoever could adapt the best and also keep it on track, and I did a very good job at that. And it feels amazing to get this win. We keep getting closer to that championship, which is the ultimate goal. But the work's not over. We still got to keep going. Portland's still next, so we got to keep our eyes focused on that.
Obviously, every session here, the track continues to change. IndyCar gets out, then we get the rain. How hard did you guys work in the debrief room to make sure that car kept getting better?
We worked incredibly hard. As soon as we got done, celebrating the win yesterday, we immediately went back into the hauler, and Lou, Braden, and I sat down, and we're just talking. And it's like, what can we do better? What can I do better? How are we going to set up the car for tomorrow? And then this morning, Louis Foster, an old teammate of mine, came over and was able to give us a little bit of some tips, which definitely helped a lot. I didn't go into that totally blind, which is good. But yeah, we worked hard overnight just to see how the car should be, and I think we nailed it pretty good.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jack Jeffers, folks, big victory for him, 4th in a row. We're going to try to grab our other drivers here when we get a chance. We'll get G3R Giroux and Caleb Gaffaro over for a quick chat here as well. Caleb, come on over here. We'll start with you. Your teammate can go next. Man, hard-fought race. You guys were on it. That opening lap, of course, the contact guys getting in the wall coming out of turn number 7. What were your thoughts on the race here today?
I was sitting there, I was like, I just got to stay away from this. And we got into there, and I was looking in the mirror. I was like, please don't just clean me out. I was like, a couple of times I was pretty sketched out, and especially going into turn 3. But other than that, we just was able to work away. And then I was sitting there like about half a tenth to a tenth to Jack, and I was like, I just can't get all the way there.
Overall, pretty happy with your first weekend. Obviously, the issues from yesterday, you had a broken wire, took you out of the race. Must be nice to get to the least of the end of this one.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome to come back with a P2, and I can't thank the team enough for giving me the car they gave me. So.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Caleb Gaffaro from Paps Racing. Let's get G3R Giroux. We'll bring him in here right now. Step into the spot here. G3, congratulations for you. A podium finish. Great to have you up here. Your thoughts on what was a hard-fought race? You, Caleb, Brad Majman. It was good stuff.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the most exciting races of the year in the beginning, and then one of the dullest after lap 5. So it was definitely exciting with it raining over the evening, and then going out there, and there were some puddles, and everyone was wiggling around. So I mean, we fired off super quickly, and we were fighting for the lead, and then we kind of dropped back a bit, but. I mean, as you could see at the end, we ran super fast, and we had a ton of laps, and the car was incredible. Me and Caleb went a little bit different direction this morning, but I think that it's a testament that both of our cars can go and run up second, third, and I just can't thank Augie, Steve, Eric, everyone else under Paps for really working so hard over the last couple weeks to get us back on this podium.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, Rob.
There he is, folks, G3 Argyros. We're going to head over to Victory Lane. Get things rolling here. We have our USF Pro 2000 drivers set to fire things up, as we know, to get rolling for the final race of the weekend. Champion already locked and loaded in that category. Max Garcia from Pabst Racing getting that done yesterday. We have 3 deserving drivers going to come up on the podium here with some awards. Some of our guests from Continental Tire Canada going to help us pass out some awards as well. Let's start with the driver coming home in third, folks. A round of applause from Pabst Racing, G3 Argyros. Frank Martinello will help us out with the P3 award for G3. Very impressive young driver out of Newport Beach, California, G3 Argyros. Finishing in the third spot today. Pabst Racing puts 2 drivers on the podium, as I said. Finishing in second spot, another Pabst driver, Caleb Gaffera. Gaffera P2. Hardcore racing in the top 5. Man, that was a ton of fun to watch. Mike Spikowski going to help us out with the second place trophy. Again, great to have all these guests from Continental Tire Canada enjoying the weekend here. Last but not least, folks, we're talking 4 straight wins. He extends his point lead from San Antonio, Texas, from Exclusive Autosport, the winner, Jack Jeffers. Big win for Jack. Danielle Daniels will bring a trophy up here for us. Huge run on the season here for Jack Jeffers. Winner earlier in the year as well at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but 4 straight right now have extended his point lead nicely. Here is the top 3 drivers for USF 2000. Our pro drivers sitting in the pre-grid, getting ready to go as well. They'll be on track momentarily for their 25-lap race to cap off our action here for the USF Pro Championships at the Continental Tire Grand Prix of Toronto. What a fantastic way to cap things off for USF 2000. Some absolutely fantastic finishes for drivers a bit further back. The battles we were watching for 5th, for 8th, for the final spot in the top 10. Just great stuff. Jack Jeffers, Caleb Gaffera, G3 Argyros, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. All these drivers gunning to try to work their way up in the points. Remember, Jeffers came in as the point leader, but G3 was 4th. Caleb Gaffera was 5th. They're going to make up ground on both Teddy Masella and Thomas Schrag. The battling for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Tighter and tighter. Let's get our guests from Continental Tire Canada up here. I'll have a shot on the podium, everyone together. Awesome to have them here with us here for a morning event. As we know, the event coming for the IndyCar drivers here. Expect these clouds to blow away. We're going to have a gorgeous afternoon here at the streets of Toronto. It's going to be a ton of fun. Of course, all that's left after this is to bring the champagne up to get things underway. We'll cap off this edition for the USF 2000 drivers. Thanks again to Continental Tire Canada for being with us here. The champagne coming up for that celebration. The fielding bubbly, and then we will get an opportunity to go USF Pro 2000 racing. Champagne in the hands. Let's let the ladies get out of the way, folks. All right, racers, let's do this. Grab that champagne, grip it and rip it. Celebrate the win for Jack Jeffers, and the podium finishes for Caleb Gaffera and G3 Argyros. Great stuff here for the drivers at USF 2000. The pro drivers set to go as well. Todd, I'll send it back to you. We are going racing here momentarily.
Congratulations to our podium finishers, Jack Jeffers, Caleb Gaffera, G3 Argyros. Sensational first race for the USF Pro Championships and USF 2000. USF Pro 2000 is straight ahead.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
When racers come to run with the USF Pro Championships, they're trying to become professional drivers, as we know, and they're trying to get exposure for what they've done, right? Not only do we teach them in terms of the media side, but they're really hoping for exposure through what we do. All of our races, of course, live on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. We have a downloadable app as well that fans can watch all of the races, the documentary, the climb that we put out, all the live timing, all on the app. So the exposure is there that they're able to leverage. If they have a sponsor or a prospective partner, an investor who's not here trackside, they're able to watch all the racing throughout the year. It's all about giving these kids as much exposure as possible, and there's not another junior formula program in North America that has the kind of exposure at the level that we have here in the USF Pro Championships.
We're rubbing elbows. We're on the same race weekends as IndyCar, and so it helps for those young drivers to look up and see those guys running at the top level like I am now.
Being in the presence of the organization that is IndyCar, you're obviously not racing in the series, but you're racing with it.
We create our schedule to be as much as possible on IndyCar weekends. The IndyCar series is always looking for young talent. They've moved a lot of our kids into the upper levels, and we need to race in front of them.
The IndyCar team owners do pay attention to what's going on the ladder, and that's important for the drivers. But it's a good way to get and learn exactly what goes into a race weekend.
They really made sure to show the importance of social media and posting, and to get well at talking in front of crowds and talking in front of big places.
It's extremely international now, which hasn't always been the case. You're racing against guys that will be future IndyCar race winners, race champions, and so it's a very unique opportunity.
The reason to come and check out the USF Pro Championships is simply because we teach everything you need to work your way to the top. Again, it's not just about racing, it's about everything that you have to learn to be a race car driver, but also the development we have from car to car, level to level, gives the driver a little bit more every year. It's a really graduated step for up the sport, as opposed to diving into something super fast. This teaches you from a really good place coming out of karting into one of the school series like the Skip Barber Racing School, and then into our USF Juniors program. It's such a planned effort. Everything is set correctly so that on the way up you learn incrementally what you need to get to IndyCar.
On our level, our job is to prepare them mentally, emotionally, media conscious, all that stuff. We have training seminars. We have the race directors who will, especially on the juniors level, will work with the kids and try and explain to them what's going on the racetrack, what they did right, what they did wrong. This is a learning series. They need to learn from their mistakes so that when we deliver them to IndyCar, they're the real deal. They're the finished product.
It's really important as they move up the USF Pro Championships ladder to continue to build on their brand as they get to IndyCar. It's a good way for the drivers to learn what they're going to have to deal with as they get to the big leagues.
It gives them a great training ground from the bottom to the top, how to communicate with your team, how to act, how to be as a person, all the things that are needed to become a professional driver.
You really can work hand in hand with your mechanics to tell them exactly what you need. I've learned a lot in this series of what it takes to be a driver and relay that to the mechanics as far as driving, how the car feels, and I think this series just does a great job with putting the drivers with the right teams and the crew to make that happen.
USF Pro Championships, it does a really good job of educating us on what tracks we're going to be running when we get to the professional leagues. Same thing in Formula One. You run the certain tracks that you're going to race in Formula One, and they do a really good job with that here. There's other series that could lead you on the path to IndyCar, but they don't race on the same tracks as IndyCar does. So USF Pro Championships gives you a little bit of a leg up as a young driver to already know the tracks, so that when you become a rookie in IndyCar, you have a little bit more of an even, playing field with the other pros that you're racing against.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah, road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by like a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Well, we just came off a fantastic race for the drivers in USF 2000, battling essentially all the way through the field. But remember, that opening lap chaos put 4 very quick drivers off the racetrack. 3 of them finishing in the top 10 yesterday: Anthony Martella, Thomas Schragen, Eddie Beswick, Evan Cooley. After the issues yesterday, not able to get to the end of lap number 2 this one either. Tough one for all 4 of those drivers. But we are lining things up right now for the back end, the last race of the 4 we have this weekend here, all part of the Continental Tire Grand Prix of Toronto, the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. And 19 drivers set to go here for USF Pro 2000. Let's have a look at the grid as they've worked their way out onto pit lane. From Richmond Hill, Ontario, the Canadian driver Nick Jilks for Jay Howard Driver Development going to start at the tail of the field in the number 19 machine up on row number 9. Out of Mexico, George Garce Arce for D-Force Racing in the number 10. And Carson Eder in the number 92, the Californian for Exclusive Autosport. Issues with the transmission yesterday, the gearbox. Eder not able to start race number 1. He is looking forward to getting some laps here at Toronto. Up now to row number 8. Tyke Durst in the number 33, a hard wreck in qualifying. The team put that car back together. He drove it up into the top 10 yesterday. A solid run for that Turn 3 Motorsports pilot. Durst starting in the 16th spot. Alongside him, his teammate out of Austin, Texas, Brady Golan, the rookie, in the number 3. Going to row number 7. It's been a rough weekend so far for Sebastian Manson, looking for a clean run here for TJ Speed Motorsports. A couple of times into the wall here. He'll look to try to get his way through 25 laps and roll that car back to the trailer. Manson in the 28, starting 14th. Alongside Colorado's Joey Brienza for Exclusive Autosport. Top 10 run yesterday for the UBS-sponsored driver. That is Joey Brienza in that number 91. We'll go now up to row number 6. Contact between this driver, Logan Adams, and Michael Costello put them both off track. Adams in the Comet Racing Newcastle Motorsports Park number 21 has great speed here this weekend. I expect to see him fight his way into the top 10. He'll start 12th alongside Milton, Ontario's Mac Clark, the Corpe Exclusive Autosport machine. Mac Clark coming in here second place in points right now. The championship locked and loaded, as we know, by Max Garcia, but they are battling for second, third, fourth on back. Clark going to start 11th after a great run up to 4th yesterday. Into the top 10, Michael Costello. The contact yesterday put him to the tail of the field. He'll start on the outside of row number 5 in the Pabst Racing number 20. Costello with good speed here this weekend. Alongside him, the number 2 of Cooper Becklin from Portland, Oregon, in the Turn 3 Motorsports Helmet House Tatis. Up now to row number 4, we're sitting 3rd place in points from Israel. 3 times the winner on the season. TJ Speed's Ariel Elkin, the rookie in the number 27, is going to start in the 8th spot. There is Ariel Elkin right there, the master of the month of May. 2 wins at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and he also won on the oval at Indianapolis Raceway Park in the Freedom 90. He'll start alongside Nicolas Monteiro from Brazil in the Turn 3 Motorsports car. Monteiro in the number 22, 8th place in points coming into race number 2. Working our way now up into road number 3, a strong mid-season run here for Jacob Douglas, a winner in Indianapolis earlier this year. Douglas currently sitting P5 in points for Pabst Racing. The young New Zealander in the number 19, starting in the 6th position alongside him out of Redondo Beach, California, fast Frankie Mossman in the VRD Racing number 84. Watch for Mossman to be up on the wheel. He was scrapping big time yesterday. Now into the top 4 drivers. Row number 2, driver who won the first 5 USF 2000 races to start the season. Some visa issues did not allow him to get back into the U.S. They'll have that handled for next year. But hey, listen, we didn't run USF 2000. I can get to Canada. Let's do this again. He made his debut here last year in USF 2000. Liam McNeely from London, England, his debut here in USF Pro 2000 for Jay Howard Driver Development. Inside of that row, in the number 88 machine out of Hoboken, New Jersey, Max Taylor, last year's USF Juniors champion, won races in USF 2000 as well, and coming off a tremendous 10th place finish at Iowa Speedway in Indy next. He'll start on the inside of row number 2. 19 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row, and how about an off-pole start for this driver? The weight of the world has been lifted. USF 2000 champion last year, USF Pro 2000 champion this year. Locked and loaded that yesterday. He has finished every lap in 2024 and has finished every lap thus far in 2025. He has not finished outside the top 4. Max Garcia, the number 18 for Pabst Racing, starting in 2nd. But the driver ready to roll off here from P1. 3 out of 4 wins to start the season out of Florida in the AstroPay Turn 3 Motorsport machine. That is ATT Alessandro DiTullio in the number 44, starting from the pole. DiTullio and Garcia on row 1. Taylor and McNeely row 2. Mossman alongside Douglas on row 3. Monteiro and Elkin row 4. Becklin and Costello row 5. Clark and Adams row 6. Brienza and Manson row 7. Golan and Durst row 8. Eder and Garcia Arce row 9. And row 10 will be Nick Gilks. Every one of these drivers ready to light the fires. Let's get things underway. Head back down to pit lane. One of our guests from Continental Tire Canada to give the command. It's Laura Doharis.
Continental Tire, your tire of choice. Drivers, start your engines.
There you go. A little bit of Sunday morning excitement. Engines coming to life. Todd Lewis, we are ready to go racing.
And looking forward to seeing how this one shakes out. We had, of course, the truncated qualifying session for race number 2. That shook up the grid a little bit. Matt Clark is starting deep in the field, raced his way up from 8th to a podium position yesterday. Good run for him. Tyke Durst has had his challenges this weekend. He starts deep in the field. What can he do? What will Max Garcia do now that he has clinched the championship with a victory yesterday? I'm thinking the hunger's still there, that he'd like to keep winning.
At what level of aggression, though, right? Do you need, do you need to throw it away here? Are you cruising to the end? Literally, he doesn't have to race here if he wants today. He can skip Portland if he wants. He's already the champion. He's going Indy next racing in 2026, but we'll see what he does. Drivers knocking it into gear. Time to go racing. And as they come out onto the front straightaway, let's have a look at the top 5 in points. I mentioned already Max Garcia having locked it down. 417 points. He is 116 ahead of Matt Clark, and that gives him that championship. Matt Clark, Ariel Elkin, Alessandro DiTullio, and Jacob Douglas, the other drivers in the top 5, all ready to fight it out for those final spots in the top 3. 301 points for the Canadian Matt Clark, 10 podiums out of 14 races. Absolutely unbelievable. And he may be in a championship fight if it wasn't for the fact a couple of bad luck items. Got taken out one of the races at NOLA Motorsports Park, had a fire extinguisher go off in race number 3. Just those kind of issues is what kept Clark out of it, but the consistency that this young Canadian has shown has been impressive. Ariel Elkin, the wins, as I said, through the month of May, absolutely impressive as he won 2 of the 3 races at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the oval as well. At Indianapolis Raceway Park, 98 points rather. He is only 3 markers behind Matt Clark. Alessandro DiTullio not that far back either. He is 30 points behind Matt Clark, but starting on the pole position, he can make a couple of points up here. And of course, Jacob Douglas, as I'd wrap things up. Douglas, who had a rough start to the season, only 1 point at the opener at St. Petersburg, but he has come back and is on a fantastic run right now. Over the last number of races, I want to say the last 7 races, I think he has 6 top fives, and it's just he's posting up the podium finishes as well, looking for another victory. It's been a good season so far. A rookie program here for Jacob Douglas.
Interesting to see how this one shakes out. The track continues to dry out after the overnight rains. It's improving as the pace car heads up, but a number of these drivers are starting on new tires, which will be interesting. They are not paired up as if they are ready to go racing, even though the pace car is ducked in.
I didn't get a call whether or not we were going to give these drivers 2 laps as well. Where they are right now, I don't know that we go green. Yeah, we've got the yellow flag out. Yeah, we got drivers way back in the pack. They're still coming through 7 and 8. So they'll get another chance to bring it around, but I would say we're very likely number 1 on the clock, and we'll probably put lap number 1 in the books here as well. When they come back around, lap number 1 will be done. So official start to the race, but yellow flag, we'll pair them back up and go green flag racing when we come back around. I'll tell you this, at least for our categories here, USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000, I think when we all looked at the forecast coming into the weekend, it was like, okay, listen, Friday's looking really good, but all this higher percentage chance of rain on Saturday and Sunday, we thought, oh my goodness, this track's tough as it is, but to throw all these drivers out here, number 1, in the wet conditions with how slippery it is, and then with the walls and everything we have on the back straightaway and the spray, you can't see anything coming down into 3. We've got, I don't want to say Chamber of Commerce weather, but you couldn't have asked really for much more thinking the rain was coming. The fact that we had a bit of a damp start to USF 2000. Now we're back to dry, and it's going to be a great afternoon.
Timing-wise, it worked out quite well. The rain came overnight, kind of washed everything away, got the rubber down, and it caught a couple of the USF 2000 drivers out as the track continues to dry. But we'll have continued improving conditions through this USF Pro 2000 race, and looks like everyone's hustling around trying to get paired up so we can get started this time.
Listen, this is going to be on the pole sitter, Alessandro DiTullio. You got to woe things up a little bit. Once the pace car leaves you, the pace car will set the pace during a lap. But once the pace car leaves to hustle back to pit lane, you're not supposed to speed up, maintain pace car speed, and that'll allow the rest of the field to close up. But it is tough coming through the final couple of corners of this racetrack. Ideally, we'll get them lined up as they come through now, turn number 9, 10, and over to turn number 11. Field looking pretty good. Some of the stragglers will have to work their way up here near the tail. Here they come rolling around. It is kind of slow coming up, but we are underway. Green flag is out. Green, green, green. Racing in USF Pro 2000. 4 wide. Why not? Almost contact there further back with Liam McNeely. Will they get through cleanly? Max Garcia, not the aggressive driver he was, of course, with that championship already locked down. He's probably back into the P4 position, but we potentially could go 2 wide behind your leader, DiTullio. Here comes Max Taylor on the outside as well. He'll move from drivers right to left. He's going to try to potentially go around the outside. We're too deep all the way around. It is Garcia down to the bottom. Maybe a little contact there. Garcia trying to battle it out here with Max Taylor. Taylor with nothing to lose. He's going to throw the inside. That's Garcia. That is Garcia around. He's going to back it up, though. He wants to keep this streak going and finish in every race. Garcia, I want to say potential contact with he and Taylor, as they did not want to give each other any room whatsoever coming up through turn number 4. We'll see whether or not Garcia is able to continue, whether there's any damage. There is Ariel Elkin pushing hard to find a way around as well. Matt Clark's got a bunch of spots early. Clark has got some great positioning. One driver coming into pit lane. Wing damage there. That's Joey Brienza, I believe, with wing damage. Todd, the opening lap, ready to go in the books.
All right, so Alessandro DiTullio will continue to lead them as they complete lap number 2 here. And then the shakeup begins with Frankie Mossman, who comes across in second. Max Taylor, Liam McNeely, and Jacob Douglas round out the top 5. But what did Max Garcia yesterday say to you in your post-race interview? Is I kept going, kept being aggressive, because when you aren't aggressive, that's when you have trouble. That's when you can find the wall. He was very passive going into quarter number 1, got way wide left, trying to leave the trouble out of the way. It wound up costing him.
And there's another brake lockup for Liam McNeely. That was one of his issues yesterday, locked the brake up, and that thing was down to the cords by the time I saw it back in the paddock. I will say this, Max Garcia does come across the line to finish lap number 2, so he remains on the racetrack, so there is an opportunity. If he keeps running here waiting for a yellow, he's going to keep that streak alive of running all the laps. This will be his first finish outside, very likely outside the top 4. He needed a bunch of yellows to work his way up here, but again, the stress is off for Max Garcia. Battling it out there with Max Taylor, coming up through turn number 3 and 4. Likely contact there. Kind of was out of our camera vision to see what was happening. Otherwise, we're getting the opening laps in. Alessandro DiTullio is out front. Frankie Mossman, what did I say in the the pre-show and the driver introductions, that guy was going to be on the move in a big way. He's looking for a result to kind of put some positive spin on the year here now, and he is digging, worked his way up to P2. Liam McNeely hustling, as we know. But as I said before, with Liam McNeely, a little lockup already. We're going to keep an eye on him coming in to the braking zone of turn 3, Todd. He struggled with that in a big time yesterday. Clean through there right now as he's being pressured here by Jacob Douglas, Max Taylor, Matt Clark, and Michael Costello.
Douglas likely saw that around on the previous lap as well, so he's going to try to keep up the pressure on Liam McNeely, because if he's bouncing around and he's catching him in his rear view mirrors, he's going to drive a little bit deeper and maybe lock up that tire again. It creates an opportunity for later in the race. That's what you want to do, is create and become a distraction for the driver ahead of you that you're trying to pass.
Yeah, there's ways to pass, there's ways to overtake, and that's making the move, setting it up, late braking, whatever it may be, but there's also just putting the pressure on a driver non-stop, forcing them into a mistake. That's the best pass you can make. When you force that driver into a mistake in front of you, you're clean and green through. So lots of ways to get that done. You can be sure that Jacob Douglas will not stop putting the pressure on Liam McNeely. Early running, you see a couple drivers fighting further back in the pack there, one defending down to the inside. A couple of drivers, I believe, into pit lane. Carson Eder may be into pit lane right now. I'm looking over at live timing and see a line for him potentially into the pits. And a rough weekend for Carson Eder. Great through practice and qualifying. Was P12 in qualifying for race 1, but then clouded the wall after a wheel failure in qualifying for race 2. They weren't able to get it fixed. Some issues with the gearbox. Actually, they got it put back together, but a gearbox issue. He didn't start race number 1. They put a new gearbox in overnight. The team was there late. Now potentially into pit lane again. So not sure what happened here for Carson Eder in this. Okay, I got an update here. Looks like wing damage for Carson Eder from the start, so they're going to put a new wing on that. Perfect. Get him back out of the racetrack. Give him more track time. He may be a lap down, but give him the track time he needs as a rookie driver here in USF Pro.
Exactly. Every lap counts. There's experience to be gained every lap, especially on a challenging and difficult street circuit like the one here on the streets of Toronto, the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto. I want to mention Matt Clark, too, who's gained a bunch of spots since the opening. He's up to 6th place now, trying to pursue Max Taylor. So he's just, that's a nice move for Matt Clark.
Yeah, +5 for Matt Clark, working his way forward. I did the same thing yesterday. I think he started 8th, got himself up to 4th, started 11th here. Now he's up to 6th. Again, good points for him. Remember, he's battling it out right now with Ariel Elkin for 2nd place in the points. That's where he wants to be. There's still money up for grabs as a big lock up there this time. Oh, there's contact there between Matt Clark and Max Taylor. And I think Taylor's going to end up in the wall. I don't know whether or not Clark was able to get through, but Taylor set it up the inside on him. Let's see whether or not Clark comes through here. I don't see him right now. He may have got stuck to the outside as well. Taylor went up the inside, and he may be in the wall in turn number 3. I don't know if it's going to be hard contact with the wall. They looked like they wound things up. They were being told that 90 was able to continue, so Matt Clark able to continue, but it could be Taylor in the wall. I expect he may be able just to back up and get back out of it. Yeah, our spotter's telling us that both drivers able to continue. Contact with the wall, nosed it in, but they were able to get out. There's damage as well there. Yeah, there's the damage for Max Taylor. So the driver was up there battling for a spot in the top 5, overcooks it into turn number 3.
Oh yeah, you can see that Max Taylor in that pink car is moving slowly, trying to get his way back. And I don't know if he'll be able to continue with that wing. He'll have to make a stop along pit lane. Did not see if there was any body damage to the 90 car of Matt Clark.
Yeah, Clark all the way down into the 15th spot, so went to the very tail of the field. So remember, I just said he's in the middle of a battle for 2nd position in the championship. Taylor actually back in 6th spot, so a tough one for Clark. He's going to have to fight his way back forward. He'll be hoping for a yellow. Remember, we're very early in this race, only 6 laps into a 25-lapper. So both Max Garcia and Matt Clark would love to see a yellow flag to potentially give them an opportunity to work their way back up into the top 10.
Both have proven that they are fast. Garcia, the champion of the series now, and Matt Clark as well with 10 podium positions. So they've proven if the field does get bunched up with a yellow, they should be able to get a bunch of positions. As you mentioned, Matt Clark in a battle with Ariel Elkin, who's now sitting 6th behind Michael Costello.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. Obviously, an international field here with drivers from all over the world. We talk about Jacob Douglas from New Zealand, Ariel Elkin, Israel, Nicolas Monteiro from Brazil, Sebastian Manson, who's running 9th from New Zealand, Mexico, Canada, U.S. always get a lot of people tuning in from around the world. Sometimes that's where they're from. Sometimes they're traveling. Yesterday, the Hoskins family, who run in our USF Juniors program, were telling me that they were watching the broadcast from Florence, Italy. They're on a family trip to Italy. Just got a shout out from Obi Johnson, Nikita Johnson's father. They're down in the Bahamas watching right now. So always great to have these guys tuned in. Nikita Johnson, as we know, former champion in the program here. We'll see what he's able to do as we have a change for the lead right now. Frankie Mossman has gone to P1, able to find his way by Alessandro Di Tullio. And there's your new leader coming now into turn number 8. Frankie Mossman for VRD Racing goes to P1.
Oh, yes. You said Frankie Mossman would be on the move, and he is. Took a few laps, but has gotten out in front of the 44 of Alessandro Di Tullio and Liam McNeely in hot pursuit.
This potentially could be Frankie Mossman's first race win in the USF Pro Championships. And what a better place to do it than here on the streets of Toronto. He leads 8 laps in. Still a long way to go, though. 17 laps to go. It's Mossman, Di Tullio, McNeely, and Douglas. Right behind them, Michael Costello and another driver coming into pit lane. Who is that? That may be Sebastian Manson. A rough weekend gets worse for the young driver as Manson off the racetrack in the number 28 machine. Lock up, a couple of drivers locking up there coming down into turn number 3, both Pabst drivers. But for Sebastian Manson, just contact out in turn 7, contact in 11 where he just wadded it up there, and then looks to be like a mechanical here pulling into pit lane.
The photo on my Instagram this morning is of the mark on the wall that Sebastian Manson made coming out of corner number 11, and that was a significant hit that he had yesterday, and unfortunately that the troubles have continued today. But let's see what happens. As you mentioned, a long way to go still. 8 laps complete, just about coming around to complete lap number 9 with Frankie Mossman out in front, Alessandro Di Tullio, Liam McNeely, as you said yesterday, first time in these USF 2000 Pro 2000 cars, having a great run.
Yeah, let's unpack that whole deal with Liam McNeely. Driver who came over last year to run in the USF Juniors program, a GB4 graduate, did a lot of Ginetta Juniors racing over in England. Was a rookie with Jay Howard Driver Development, came over here, finished second in USF Juniors, but like many drivers we're seeing here again this weekend, coming up to use that, do that first USF 2000 race, maybe here at Toronto, get ready for the next year. And he was qualified on the front row, on the podium during the weekend, and then wins the first 5 races in USF 2000 this year. You would expect probably on a route potentially to run himself to a championship and a scholarship. Issues with his visa getting into the U.S. They're working diligently on that to make sure he's back in 2026, but he can get into Canada. So let's try the USF Pro 2000 car. He'd never driven the car before practice on Friday. And to tell somebody to drive this car that you drove the USF 2000 car here, but we're going to give you another, let's say, I don't know, another 80 horsepower, right? We're going to give you more tires, more braking, more downforce. This kid is an absolute phenom. Liam McNeely, so impressive, great feedback, and he can just flat drive the wheels off a car. So here he is trying to, in his debut weekend, on the toughest racetrack on the circuit, trying to get to the podium, and we're not done yet. So let's not say that he's not going to potentially be able to reel in and try to go for a race win.
Watching some of those drivers that have had difficulty earlier in this race, Matt Clark in the 90 has just jumped ahead of Nick Jokes, he's gone up to 13th. Max Garcia has just turned the quickest lap of the race, stuck back in 15th again, hoping maybe for a yellow, so he'll have the opportunity to climb further forward a little bit, but still keeping that streak alive of completing every lap of the season.
Yeah, Matt Clark was involved in the incident with Max Taylor early. Taylor out of the race now. Matt Clark up in the 13th spot. He's only 0.4 of a second behind Tyke Durst, so he's trying to work his way up. Another 1.6 after that up to George Garce-Arce. So indeed, no doubt about it, Clark would love to see that yellow, and as would Garcia, but drivers up front here, Mossman, Di Tullio, McNeely, we're fine to go clean to green to the end to see if we can't battle it out. There's the 2 Pabst cars as well. Jacob Douglas 4th, Michael Costello 5th. So, again, we talked about the incident between Matt Clark and Max Taylor. That was over in turn number 3. We're going to get a chance pretty soon here to have a look at it. Here it is here. So watch this move to the inside. This is the pass here. This is Frankie Mossman making the move to the inside. Throws it down the bottom. Whoa, he's on the brakes hard. Di Tullio thinking about the over-under. Can't do it. There's the brake lockup. Here comes Max Taylor throwing it to the inside. Taylor is not, he just can't get the car wound up, and Matt Clark with nowhere to go. Tough one there. Taylor made the move to the inside, couldn't get the car slowed enough to get to the apex and pushed wide, and Matt Clark on the outside, there's nothing he could do but try to whoa up and potentially get back in and keep himself out of a wreck.
Exactly. Mossman did the move nicely. He completed it, got himself out in front of Alessandro Di Tullio. But you're right, when you're Matt Clark at that point, you're in damage control. There is nothing you can do except try to save the race car, not go deep into those tires at the exit of corner number 3 and get yourself stuck. Turns out no wing damage. He's okay and has been able to continue.
So that was a really good example of a well-executed overtake under braking and one that didn't play out as planned. Mossman, you can see he's hard on the brakes, really rolling on the pressure. The car was actually almost kind of rotating in the wrong direction at one point, counterclockwise, but he was able to whoa it up, and he was able to get that back down to the apex, stopping Di Tullio from doing the over-under, right? Because Di Tullio was setting up so perfectly for the over-under. Didn't happen. Clark would have needed to really roll a lot more brake on to try to get back underneath Max Taylor.
You're right, and it's interesting when you say Mossman trying to hold onto the car, because you're right, as soon as you complete the pass in corner number 3, there is the opportunity for the racer who you've passed to jump around and get ahead of you again before you get through corner 4 and 5.
When you're taking that inside line, that more shallow entry, the car just wants to push wider. You normally have to brake more or earlier to be able to get around the corner at that point, but there is that uphill. You have a little bit of the pressure climbing up the hill from 3 over to turn number 4. So Mossman, Di Tullio, McNeely 1, 2, 3, Douglas in the 4 spot, Costello 5th, Elkin 6th, Montiero 7th, Logan Adams back up into the 8th position. Good recovery after the incident yesterday. Both Adams and Costello are running inside the top 10 when contact happened over in turn number 1. Costello 5th, Adams now in the 8th spot, started 12th, so +4 for Logan. Cooper Becklin now in 9th, and George Arce up into 10th. Matt Clark, Todd, able to get by Tyke Durst. He is right on top of Brady Golan right now, and in fact, only about a second behind George Garcia Arce. Clark will very likely be able to get to 10th, as we're only past the halfway point, but then it's almost 5.5 seconds up to George Garcia, or rather up to Cooper Becklin.
In fact, it's just gotten around Brady Golan to move up into 11th position, and this is where that yellow flag is going to become necessary to try to bunch this field up. Matt Clark will be in damage control right now. He understands that Ariel Elkin, who he's battling with in the championship, currently running 6th behind Michael Costello. So Matt Clark is trying to get as many positions as he can. Hopefully a yellow will come out. That will benefit him. He'll be able to jump a few more spots.
Yeah, like I said, 100% the guys up front do not want to see that yellow at all. Some kind of a fire going on outside the racetrack there. You can see the smoke pluming up from the outside of turn number 7. I'm sure the fire crew will be on that pretty quickly. But Mossman, Di Tullio, McNeely, well, I would say Mossman would probably like to see a green race to the very end. I don't know that Di Tullio, I think McNeely would love to see the yellow as well. Bring me back into this. These guys are pulling away from me. I'd be more than happy to stack them and repack them one more time to have that attack into turn number 1. But right now it's Mossman and Di Tullio. Alessandro Di Tullio feels like he's mounting a charge once again. 4/10 quicker on that last lap. So Di Tullio just turned his fastest lap, and he's going to take a run here down the straightaway, going to try to leverage that draft. Remember, if you're trackside here as an IndyCar fan, we don't have push to pass. It's all about doing what the car will do, leveraging the draft. We don't have that little bit of extra turbo, that extra boost we can give these drivers. They got to do it all on their own.
That's what this series is about, is giving the drivers the tools to learn that racecraft, to learn the ability to set up a pass. Alessandro Di Tullio has followed behind Frankie Mossman for a couple of laps now, so he's had the opportunity to see where he may be better, which corner he might be able to set up a pass in the closing laps around this race. And Liam McNeely has given up a little bit of ground in front of those first 2 runners, but is also still staying in pretty close contact.
Still, it will be when they come back around here now, 10 laps remaining to cap off the USF Pro Championships component of this year's Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto. All part of the Continental Tire Grand Prix of Toronto. Our drivers here in USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000. Mossman, 109 flat last time by out. Di Tullio 109.3. He had closed back up a little bit. So being told, and actually one of the area buildings on fire over in the outside of the racetrack there. So that is a concern. No doubt local firefighters will be en route to that. So just to give you, those of you watching at home and seeing the fire over there, the issue is being dealt with, we're being told. Mossman, DeTulio, McNeely, Douglas, Costello. Matt Clark up into 10th, able to get by both Brady Golan and George Garcia-Arce. Last time by a half a second quicker than Logan Adams. He is 4.7 seconds back. It would take about 10 laps to get there. He's got 10 laps to do it. So maybe not done yet with another spot for Matt Clark, but nonetheless working his way up into the 10th position. Remember, his driver he's battling in the championship for P2 is Ariel Elkin. He's only 3 points in front. He's going to lose some spots here as Elkin currently runs 6th. Also in the championship fight, DeTulio, he's 2nd. And then Jacob Douglas as well. Now, they're more significantly back, but we are definitely packing things up here. 2nd back to P5 with just 2 races to go at Portland International Raceway in the middle of August before we cap off our championships. And again, we already know that Max Garcia's got this locked and loaded. He is only a half a second behind Matt Clark right now, so those 2 drivers working together coming forward. Garcia runs in 11th, Matt Clark in 10th. But this is the battle for the lead right here. Frankie Mossman and Alessandro DeTulio. Mossman looking for that breakthrough race win here in Toronto.
Just pulled out his fastest lap to increase the gap to about 0.7 of a second last time by, ahead of Alessandro DeTulio. Liam McNeely a little further back, continuously running in 3rd. Jacob Douglas also just posted his fastest lap, 4th. It's Michael Costello running 5th.
There's a testament to the Continental tires, right? They have a long-lasting grip level for these racers. The temperature's coming up a little bit. 73 degrees trackside. It was a little cooler when we started in USF 2000. They've cleaned some of the moisture all off the racetrack here now, so the drivers continue to hammer down here. Not sure what that was. It's like a rag or something.
Looks like a rag.
On the right at start-finish line. But the cars are getting lighter and lighter as well. They're burning off that fuel. Frankie Mossman, a young driver looking to grab that first race win. How big would this be at a Newport Beach, California? Still does a lot of go-kart racing as well. Next week he'll be down at the Superkarts USA Summer Nationals. He's been running a bunch of different races in karting as well. So Frankie Mossman will be back with the Speed Concepts racing team at that event in Newcastle, Indiana. So he's going to go right from here, right to that karting event next weekend. Does he go as a race winner in USF Pro 2000? Massive for this young driver who has already one time, Todd, tested at Indy Next Car. He tested at the Chris Griffith Memorial Test at Indianapolis in October. So he's been behind the wheel of the Next Car already, got a taste for it. Really likes it, would like to go back. Now, he's not in championship contention. He's not going to grab a scholarship. But a race win here in front of the IndyCar and Indy Next team owners, well, maybe that plays a little bit into the ride you could potentially pick up for 2026.
Funny how race wins always get the attention of team owners. Frankie Mossman and Alessandro DeTulio continue their battle. DeTulio just turning his fastest lap to close that gap down to about a half a second. It's almost become 2 separate battles between the 1st and 2nd, and Liam McNeely is feeling a little bit of pressure now from Jacob Douglas, but he also tries to go a little bit faster in this last lap.
Yeah, Douglas trying to use that draft, got to get back up to see if he can't pressure McNeely into the brake lockup. Remember, we saw a brake lockup already. He dealt with it yesterday. That thing was locked up so much, kept hitting that flat spot. It was down to the cords when I went and saw it later. Crazy stuff for sure. So indeed, this is going to be a good battle. Got a couple races. Here's the battle for 1st and 2nd. There's 3rd and 4th. Right now, Costello, I believe, by himself in the 5th spot. No, he's got Ariel Elkin on. So we got a battle for 1st, for 3rd, and for 5th. Here's the battle for 1st and 2nd. There's 3rd and 4th. And you're going to see this one coming around. They've got enough of a gap there right now. It's a significant gap of over 2 seconds. Costello versus Ariel Elkin. Again, watching Matt Clark, he's 1.8 seconds behind, a full second faster than Logan Adams on that last lap. Matt Clark up on the wheel in the home race here, trying to put on a show. Still, lap 19 goes in the books. 6 laps remaining here.
Liam McNeely last time feeling a little bit of heat from Jacob Douglas, just turns in his fastest lap on lap 19 to increase that gap just a little bit. So the head-to-head battles are forming at the front of this field for 1st and 2nd between Mossman and DeTulio. And there you see 3rd place runner Liam McNeely being pursued by Jacob Douglas.
Just a little update we're getting from race control. We do see that there is that fire in the building. It is off-site, I'm told. We obviously are getting a little bit of smoke cover here right now outside of turn number 6, but that building is off-site. So, indeed, ideally, the local firefighting teams have already arrived on the scene to take care of that blaze. But at this point, the fire, it is heating up front as well. The battle between Frankie Mossman and Alessandro Di Tullio. This is where a driver like Mossman goes back to all those races that he's won in kart racing. Everything he's won when the victories have come, where you get into that zone. And that's what it is, Todd. You get in that zone. You know you're getting pressure, but you're trying to hit every mark. And Liam McNeely again. A tank slapper coming out of turn number 11. Here comes Jacob Douglas. He's going to try to take advantage of it. McNeely to the inside. Watch the over-under coming from Douglas. Does he tuck it to the bottom? Not quite. But this is going to be a drive as they get all the way down into turn number 3. Jacob Douglas trying to get back on the podium again. McNeely's going to defend to the inside. You cannot move in defense. Here comes Douglas to the outside. The Kiwi looking to try to go to P3. Big run down into turn 3. Both of them are going to lock up in a big way. Douglas going to try the over-under again. Oh, Todd, this is good stuff for P3.
Great action for that final spot on the podium. Liam McNeely had a little trouble coming out of corner number 11, saved it, but it gave Jacob Douglas the opportunity to run up close. Pushed him as hard as he could through one, all the way down Lakeshore Boulevard. Big lockup as he was forced to go around the outside in corner number 3. Could not get the pass done, but still in the tire tracks of Liam McNeely.
Just didn't have enough, right? He had to have a more shallow entry getting out of the corner of turn 1, so it didn't quite have that terminal velocity coming down. They were side by side and really not much you could do. I think he was trying to play kind of a game of chicken there. Which driver's going to release first? Who's going to get on the brakes earlier? Who can go deeper? Well, they both locked up tires, so essentially both drivers were pretty adamant that they were going to be the deeper driver. Here comes another over-under. Oh, I like this here. Oh, again. Douglas is just putting it on here right now. This is good stuff with 4 laps remaining. Excellent racing right now. Max Garcia's actually been able to get by Matt Clark, and Garcia's by Logan Adams as well. So that's a 3-driver battle back for 9th, 10th, and 11th. Garcia up into 9th, Clark 11th as he's trying to go to work on Logan Adams as well. That's a good scrap there, just inside the top 10. But we're not looking at that right now because the battle up front is so good here. This is the fight for 3rd.
Full defensive mode for Liam McNeely right now, holding off the charge of Jacob Douglas so far with 21 laps down, but that pressure will only increase in these closing laps. That Jacob Douglas is doing a great job trying to force Liam McNeely into a mistake. It's what we talked about a little bit earlier in this race. Fill the mirrors of your competitor. Move from side to side. He's looked at the outside. He's shown his nose up the inside as well, and if your competitor doesn't know where you're headed, that makes them vulnerable.
Oh, man, I'll tell you, McNeely a little better through turn 11 that last time. But, man, he had a full tank slapper on that last lap before where Douglas tried to take advantage of it. Douglas does a little look. That's what we talked about. Fill those mirrors. Maybe sell the dummy to the inside. Again, always trying to see if you get your teammate maybe to just look off guard, look into the mirror when they should be thinking more about the braking zone or looking to the entry point. Can you get them to miss it by maybe a foot and a half? Di Tullio is closed up on Mossman as well. 3 laps remaining. We're going to have a battle here. These are 2 drivers, Todd, that will go for it if there's an opportunity. I'm just going to throw that out here right now. Frankie Mossman, Alessandro Di Tullio. You still take either of these drivers, put them in the national karting circuit in North America right now, they'll be racing for wins. That's how good both of these drivers are. Not only here running in the USF Pro program, but also in competitive karting. Mossman still running a lot of kart racing events. Di Tullio now more of a coach and a mentor for a lot of young drivers in the sport. He's focusing fully on the car racing program. Mossman wants to keep in the wheel, behind the wheel in the seat. So both these young drivers could put on a battle, whether it's here in Toronto or at any major karting event in North America.
Completed lap number 23, and Alessandro Di Tullio just turned his fastest lap of the race, cutting that gap to about 0.3 of a second, right in the tire tracks coming through 2. Maybe this is the time that he looks up the inside of quarter number 3 after that long run down Lakeshore.
Being told that Liam McNeely is going to get a penalty for blocking. He has to give up the spot to Jacob Douglas, and that's the pressure we're talking about. 2 laps remaining. Right back onto the battle here. This is the fight for the race lead. Douglas is going to be able to go around McNeely. He's got to give it up for the block. And that was the pressure that Douglas did. That's, again, the easiest way to get an overtake. Pressure your driver up front to try to block you or defend. You're not allowed to move in defense. If a driver behind you makes the first move, you can't come across in retaliation. So, indeed, Douglas is going to go to P3. But McNeely, if he's got it, he can fight back at it. But here we go. Final lap. Does fast Frankie Mossman come away with his first USF Pro 2000 victory? Both these young drivers ready to duke it out. Di Tullio, as we know, trying to get himself into the top 3 in points. Currently P4. Here's the white flag. 1 to go. They'll race their way down to one. DeTulio's going to send it to the inside, and he goes to the bottom, book it. Oh, he's touched the wall. He taps the wall on the outside. Is there damage? Mossman's going to come after him. He sent it to the inside of one, but got loose on the exit. Touched the wall with the left rear. Here comes Mossman as well. Oh, my goodness. Given the strength of that Tatis equipment, I can't believe there's not a bent suspension. Here comes Mossman trying to big over-under. Does he get a better run? We are not done here yet. I told you that DeTulio would do it. Big defense to the bottom. Here goes Mossman back to the inside of turn 5. They're going to be side by side coming through the corner as well. Back to turn number 6. Mossman had to check up. DeTulio may come away with the victory here. Mossman threw it at him. 8 would have been another shot, but a defensive run to the inside. Douglas more than happy to come up to try to fight with them. I don't know that there's any more shot. At this point here, Alessandro DeTulio with a full send mode into turn number 1 could come away with the race win. He's got it right now. The left rear still holding on. I don't know how it did. Out of turn number 11, the winner today in race 2 for USF Pro 2000, ADT, Alessandro DeTulio wins in Toronto. DeTulio for turn 3 Motorsports with the win. What a last lap pass. It was late, and he threw it to the bottom, and Mossman could do nothing but check up and hope for an over-under. Mossman ends up finishing in second. Jacob Douglas in third. Liam McNeely in fourth. Fifth, Ariel Elkin. Sixth, Michael Costello. Seventh, Nicholas Montiero. Eighth, Cooper Becklund. From the tail of the field after the spin and contact in turn number 4, Max Garcia fights his way back to ninth, continuing the streak of laps finished. And Matt Clark, after the contact between he and Taylor, Clark gets by Logan Adams on the final circuit to go to P10.
What a race. What a race. That was sensational action with these USF Pro 2000 drivers.
So, Todd, a battle for first and second, a battle for third and fourth, fights that we didn't see back for 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's everything you want.
Max Garcia goes all the way to the back of the field after trouble on the first lap, climbs back for a top 10 finish. Matt Clark had moved forward a bunch of spots. He gets tangled up with Max Taylor. He winds up going to the back of the field, but also fights his way back for a top 10.
And you know, it looked to me like both DeTulio and Mossman got great exits out of turn number 11 to get that white flag, but DeTulio just said, you know what, I'm going for it, turned in early, sent it down the inside, and that big drift, tapping the wall, listen, another inch, and that's rear suspension damage. So the luck factor is there for Alessandro DeTulio, but Mossman second, Jacob Douglas third.
What a great finish for Alessandro DeTulio. Full send down the inside of corner number 1 to get ahead of Frankie Mossman. He had trailed in his tire tracks for 19 laps, but unable to hold on in that last lap, and DeTulio gets just enough of the outside wall to almost straighten out the car just a little bit. Frankie Mossman pressured him as much as he could on that final lap, but could not get ahead. Jacob Douglas, because of the penalty, but he was all over Liam McNeely and took over the final spot. Let's go back to Rob, who's going to speak with our podium finishers.
You know, what a run that was for Alessandro DeTulio. Sends it to the inside of turn number 1. Both these drivers wanted that victory. Frankie Mossman made a fantastic pass to get the job done over in turn 3, but man, what a battle over the last couple of laps. Here comes DeTulio. Hasn't won since the start of the season, and they are pumped here in Toronto. What an incredible drive. You see the emotion on the face of Alessandro DeTulio, the team coming in, dad's coming in. This is what this is all about. These young drivers trying to put on a show here. Peter Dempsey, team owner, coming in as well. Rasmuth Lint, driver coach. The crew is pumped up for this one for DeTulio. Good stuff. Work my way around the back. You'll get a chance to talk with Alessandro. Alessandro, let's grab you real quickly here. What a fantastic drive. I said on the broadcast, we could have put you and Mossman at a go-kart track, and you'd be doing exactly the same thing in any major national event. How important is it for you to get that victory?
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I can't curse. A lot of emotions. We had a strong start to the season, and we had some setbacks that weren't really in our control. You know, we found what was setting us back throughout the season, starting in Indy, and clearly we showed the pace to be back here. And then we had that issue yesterday with the engine, and then I got taken out. But you know, it's finally so great to bounce back. can't thank the team enough. They've worked so hard for this. Like I said, if it weren't for the problems that were in our control this year, we would have been in the title fight all year, no problem. But it is what it is. It's motorsports.
Let's quickly talk about that pass. You both got great runs out of turn number 11, but that just had to be a flick of that switch. You went full send in turn number 1, and do you know how hard you hit the wall on the outside?
Yeah, I hit the wall and had the wheel bent the whole last lap, so I was just holding on at that point. But, I mean, great job to Frankie as well. He drove an amazing race and raced me very clean, and I raced him clean back. So, yeah, we put on a good show.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Go celebrate with the team, 100%. Where's Frankie Mossman? Let's get him in here as well. Frankie, come on in. We'll get Frankie over here momentarily. We'll get the camera to come up and join us here as well. Frank Mossman, those are tough ones. You've won a lot of karting events over your career. You were trying to get that first 2000 race. The pass first was a fantastic one. How tough is it for you right now to come up P2 today?
Yeah, it definitely hurts, I mean, I haven't stood on the podium all year. We had a tough season so far. But the team's been doing a really perfect job getting me all together, and I feel like I'm learning so much every single weekend. And I mean, we're going and showing it. Like when I step on, I think we're close to unbeatable. I think we're a little bit hurt, not having the tire advantage there, and they had it on us. But I tried my best. It's really important to drive your best on the last lap and not the first 24. And I messed up on that part. So I'm going to take what I learned into Portland, and hopefully we go win both races.
Still a breakout race for you. To be up front like that pass in turn 3, absolutely impressive.
Yeah, thank you.
Well done. Frankie Mossman, folks, coming home P2. Let's get Jacob Douglas in here as well. JD, come on in. I know everybody watching back home in New Zealand. Jacob Douglas, congratulations, man. I know you wanted more, but the podium finishes are racking up for you right now. What a great run here in Toronto.
Yeah, no, good recovery after we qualified P6 yesterday. Struggled a little bit at the start, but once the car got going, we were really fast, managed to reel in P3 and get by him. And unfortunately, the leaders were a bit far gone at that point, but I wish I could have been in the battle for it. But we'll take some good points and a trophy, and we'll go to Portland, one of my favorite tracks, and try to get some wins.
You've won there before.
Yeah, I got my first win there in 2000, so hopefully we can finish the year strong.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Jacob Douglas, folks, coming home P3 today. Great drive. Let's head on over, folks, to Victory Lane. We'll bring all these drivers and get some awards handed out. All right, folks, let's get things underway right now with the podium presentation for the drivers here in the Continental Tire Grand Prix of Toronto, capping off 2 races for the USF Pro 2000 category. Remember, these drivers just 2 steps away from the NTT IndyCar Series. This is where Kyle Kirkwood was, Pato O'Ward, all the drivers you're talking about now, Louis Foster, Christian Rasmussen, all in this program just a couple of years ago. Let's get started and celebrate the success of these young drivers finishing in 3rd spot today. Give it up for Jacob Douglas for Pabst Racing. Robert Cobat will come on up here with us, one of our guests from Continental Tire Canada, to present the 3rd place trophy for Jacob Douglas. Another great run. Second half of the season momentum for this young driver out of New Zealand. A 3rd place finish here today. You obviously saw it from the emotion as well. Every one of these young drivers wants to win so badly to get their career moving up into the Indy Next program. Finishing in 2nd, folks. What a fantastic drive today from VRD Racing. Fast, Frankie Mossman. Jeff Burns going to come up there with that P2 trophy. Excellent work for Frankie today. Just that little miscue he said in the interview, stopping him from getting that race win, but nonetheless a fantastic drive. Big one here, though. Last lap pass to come for the race win, trying to go for P2 in the championship still, folks. Give it up for the driver here, the winner today for Turn 3 Motorsports, Alessandro D'Attulio. Sandra Da Silva, who's going to come up here to present the P1 trophy. What a run there for DeTulio today. Such great work by these drivers up front. The battles for first, for third, for fifth. There was just racing all the way through. Max Garcia coming back after contact early to work his way up into the top 10. Matt Clark did the same thing. But these three young drivers here, again, just a couple of steps away from IndyCar. They all want to move into the Indy Next Series. The talent is absolutely stacked in this USF Pro category this year. Champagne, of course, waiting in the wings. We'll bring that out here momentarily. Again, champagne waiting in the wings for the celebration for the drivers here in our USF Pro 2000 category. Tell everybody that the 5 of the last 7 champions in this category running IndyCar here this weekend. Renus VK, Kyle Kirkwood, Stingray Robb, Christian Rasmussen, and Louis Foster, all former champions of this program. Pato O'Ward won a bunch of races but didn't come away with the title. And he's, of course, a superstar in IndyCar, as we know. Let's get our guests here from Continental Tire Canada up and have a photo with our top 3 here today in USF Pro 2000. Man, 2 exciting races. USF 2000 was a barn burner, as we know. Same goes for this one. These young drivers just hanging it out everywhere on this racetrack. That's what it takes to be fast here in Toronto, and that's one of the keys to this program is we really teach these young drivers everything. They have to develop all their skills to see if they have what it takes to eventually make it to IndyCar, to be in the big show here on Sunday afternoon coming. All that's left to cap things off is to bring out the Fielding Estate Winery bubbly for the champagne celebrations. Again, drivers getting a little more smiley here right now. The sting of not grabbing that victory softening a little bit, but they are all unbelievably talented drivers. Great job for Alessandro DeTulio. But again, the champagne getting set to come. Yeah, boys, that's real. Wait till he works his way back here. Let's get Sue off the podium. All right, guys, let's have some fun here. Grip it and rip it. The champagne celebration. DeTulio coming away with the race win. Great job for Frankie Mossman finishing in second. Jacob Douglas in third. Folks around here, one more time, how do a round of applause for my 3 drivers here today in USF Pro 2000. Alessandro DeTulio going after the team. And a great run for Frankie Mossman to P2. Jacob Douglas at another podium here for Pabst Racing. What a tremendous race here at the Continental Tire Grand Prix of Toronto. Those of you here at the racetrack, thank you so much for coming and joining us here at Victory Lane. Those of you back home watching, wherever you are around the country and around the world, hope you enjoyed the broadcast and all the coverage here from Toronto. It has been a stellar weekend for sure. USF Juniors back on track next weekend with the event at Road America, and we'll cap it all off at Portland International Raceway in the middle of August, our finale weekend for this year's USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. Over $1.4 million in awards and scholarships handed out at that event, and all those drivers set to go and start focusing towards 2026. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks. We do appreciate it. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.